Do your joints feel stiffer than they used to? Maybe your knees ache when you stand up, or your hands feel tight and sore after a simple task. If so, you're not alone. As we get older, joint pain and stiffness become more common, but that doesn't mean we have to just live with it. What if the solution isn't in your medicine cabinet, but actually in your kitchen? In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 powerful foods that can help reduce inflammation, ease joint pain, and support healthy aging naturally. These aren't exotic or hard-to-find ingredients. They're simple, wholesome foods that you may already have in your fridge or pantry. And science shows they can make a real difference when it comes to how your joints feel and move. You'll learn how certain foods, like fatty fish rich in omega-3s or golden turmeric packed with curcumin, can help calm the inflammation that causes swelling and pain. We'll also explore how berries, olive oil, and soy can work together to protect your joints, improve flexibility, and even slow down joint damage over time. This video isn't about quick fixes or miracle cures. It's about giving your body the support it needs through smart, nourishing choices. So if you're tired of waking up stiff, struggling to open jars, or feeling like your joints are holding you back from the things you love, stay with us. You might discover that one small change in your diet can lead to big improvements in how you feel every day. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1, fatty fish, nature's anti-inflammatory gift. When Eleanor turned 70, she started noticing that her knees didn't feel the same. Morning walks that used to be enjoyable became painful. Simple things like gardening or standing for long periods left her joints aching and swollen. She tried pain relievers and creams, but nothing seemed to help long-term. It wasn't until her doctor suggested adding more omega-3 rich foods into her diet, especially fatty fish, that Eleanor began to see real improvement. Within a few months of regularly eating salmon twice a week, she noticed her joints felt looser, the pain was less frequent, and her morning stiffness had significantly improved. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines, and trout are among nature's most powerful inflammation fighters. What makes them so special? It's their high content of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. 2 nutrients that have been extensively studied for their ability to reduce inflammation in the body. Inflammation is at the root of many joint issues, including arthritis, and as we age, our bodies tend to become more prone to chronic, low-grade inflammation. This type of inflammation doesn't always cause noticeable symptoms right away, but over time it can break down cartilage, damage joints, and contribute to stiffness, swelling, and pain. Omega-3s help by reducing the production of inflammatory chemicals in the body. Think of them as little firefighters, calming down overactive immune responses that attack joint tissues. Several studies have shown that regular consumption of fatty fish can lead to a reduction in joint pain and stiffness, particularly in people with rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis. But the benefits don't stop there. Omega-3s also support heart health, brain function, and even mood stability, which are all important as we age. If you're not used to eating fish, don't worry. It's easier than you think to add it to your meals. A simple grilled salmon fillet, a warm bowl of fish stew, or even sardines on whole grain toast can be delicious and satisfying. The key is consistency. Aim for at least 2 servings of fatty fish each week, and if fresh fish isn't available or affordable, canned salmon or sardines packed in olive oil are excellent alternatives. Just check the labels and go for low-sodium versions when possible. Some people may not like the taste of fish or have dietary restrictions. In those cases, omega-3 supplements, such as fish oil or krill oil, can be helpful. But always check with your doctor first, especially if you're taking blood thinners or other medications. The goal is not just to add nutrients, but to do it in a way that's safe and sustainable for your overall health. Beyond just reducing inflammation, regularly eating fatty fish helps nourish your joints from the inside out. Think of it as oiling a creaky hinge. The more you care for your joints with the right nutrients, the better they'll serve you in return. You may not feel a miracle overnight, but over time, many people report more flexibility, fewer flare-ups, and an overall better sense of mobility and control. Eleanor's story isn't unique. Thousands of older adults have found that changing what's on their plate can change how they move, feel, and live. Adding more fatty fish to your diet is a simple step, but it's one that could help you walk farther, sleep better, and enjoy the activities you love without pain holding you back. Have you ever tried eating more fish to support your joints? What difference did you feel? Your story might inspire someone else to make a healthy change. Up next, let's explore another powerful anti-inflammatory ingredient, one that's been used for centuries in traditional medicine and is now backed by modern science: turmeric. You won't want to miss what this golden spice can do for your joints. Number 2, turmeric, the golden root that fights joint. Payne Mary, a 68-year-old retired librarian, had lived with aching joints for years. Her fingers were swollen in the mornings, her knees cracked every time she stood up, and walking even short distances felt like dragging cement blocks. She had tried medications, creams, and even acupuncture, with only temporary relief. One afternoon, while sipping tea with a friend from her local yoga class, Mary heard about turmeric. "It's this bright orange spice we used in India when I was growing up," her friend said. "My grandmother used it for everything, especially joint pain." Intrigued, Mary started adding turmeric into her daily routine. A pinch in her morning smoothie, a sprinkle on her roasted veggies, and even golden milk before bed. Within a few weeks, something shifted. The swelling was less noticeable. The stiffness didn't linger as long in the mornings. She could move a little more freely, and she smiled more because of it. Turmeric has been used for centuries in traditional medicine, especially in Indian and Southeast Asian cultures, as a natural remedy for inflammation. Its power lies in a compound called curcumin, which has been widely studied for its ability to combat chronic inflammation, the very force that damages joints and causes pain in conditions like arthritis. As we age, our bodies become more susceptible to this kind of silent inflammation, and curcumin helps by interfering with the molecular pathways that trigger it. Think of it as a gentle shut-off switch for the internal fire that flares up in your joints. Research has shown that curcumin can be just as effective as some over-the-counter anti-inflammatory drugs, without the side effects that often come with long-term use. That's especially good news for older adults who may already be managing multiple medications and looking for safer, natural alternatives. One clinical study even found that patients with knee osteoarthritis who took curcumin daily experienced significant reductions in pain and improved joint function, results comparable to those taking ibuprofen. But here's the thing: curcumin on its own isn't easily absorbed by the body. That's why it's often recommended to take turmeric along with black pepper, which contains piperine, a natural substance that enhances curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. You don't need fancy supplements if you don't want them. Just a little turmeric and a dash of black pepper in your food can go a long way. If you prefer supplements, look for ones that include both curcumin and piperine for maximum benefit. There are so many enjoyable ways to incorporate turmeric into your daily meals. You can sprinkle it over scrambled eggs or roasted vegetables, blend it into smoothies, or simmer it in warm milk with a touch of honey and cinnamon, often called golden milk. Turmeric tea is also soothing and pairs wonderfully with ginger for an extra anti-inflammatory kick. Even small amounts used consistently can create lasting effects over time. One of the beautiful things about turmeric is that it doesn't just reduce pain, it supports your overall health. It has antioxidant properties, may help with brain function, and even supports heart health. For those of us in our 60s, 70s, and beyond, finding one simple food that helps in so many ways feels like a small miracle. Mary's journey with turmeric wasn't overnight magic, but it was steady, gentle, and empowering. She didn't need to change her entire lifestyle, just her spice rack. With each cup of golden milk, she began to feel more like herself again. Less burdened by discomfort, more connected to the simple joy of movement. That's the kind of healing that matters most. Have you ever tried turmeric in your meals or as a supplement? What difference did it make for your joints or your mood? Your experience could guide someone else toward this golden remedy. And if you haven't yet, maybe today is the day to give it a try. Coming up next, we'll look at another surprising ally in the fight against inflammation. Something small, sweet, and bursting with color. Berries. Don't underestimate their power. These little fruits might just be your joint's new best friend. Number 3. Berries, small but mighty inflammation. Fighters for many years, Harold, a 73-year-old former high school coach, had been battling stiff knees and aching hips that made even short walks to the mailbox feel like a chore. He missed his morning strolls around the neighborhood and the simple joy of bending down to tend his rose bushes. After yet another checkup that ended with the words, "more inflammation," Harold's granddaughter handed him a small bowl of blueberries one afternoon. "Grandpa," she said, "you should eat these every day. My teacher says they help your body fight pain." He smiled and humored her, not expecting much. But within a few weeks of adding a handful of mixed berries to his breakfast every morning, Harold began to feel a difference. The stiffness wasn't as sharp, his knees felt more stable, and he even walked an extra block without wincing. What started as a snack became a small act of healing, and he never looked back. Berries, including blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries, may be tiny, but they are among the most powerful anti-inflammatory foods you can eat. Packed with antioxidants, especially a group called anthocyanins, these colorful fruits help combat the oxidative stress that damages our cells and contributes to chronic inflammation, the very kind that wreaks havoc on our joints as we age. What's incredible about berries is that they work on multiple levels. They help reduce inflammatory markers in the blood, they support the immune system, and they even slow down cartilage breakdown. For people living with arthritis or joint pain, these benefits aren't just interesting, they're life-changing. Scientists have long recognized the role that diet plays in managing inflammation, and berries consistently show up on the list of top foods for joint health. Several studies have found that regular berry consumption can lead to lower levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of inflammation linked to joint disease, heart disease, and other age-related conditions. Even more encouraging, the effects don't require eating large amounts. Just a small serving, a half cup to 1 cup per day, can provide meaningful results over time. But berries aren't just good for your joints. They support brain health, improve circulation, and help regulate blood sugar. All critical areas for aging adults. Their natural sweetness also makes them a satisfying and healthy alternative to processed snacks and sugary desserts, which tend to increase inflammation rather than reduce it. Swapping a cookie for a handful of blueberries might feel small, but for your body it's a major upgrade. One of the best things about berries is how easy they are to incorporate into your diet. Toss them into your morning oatmeal or cereal. Blend them into a smoothie with a little spinach and yogurt. Sprinkle them on a salad for a burst of flavor and color. Keep a frozen bag in the freezer so you never run out. Frozen berries are just as nutritious as fresh, and sometimes even more affordable. And if you like a little adventure in the kitchen, try making your own berry chia jam or antioxidant-packed fruit compote. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle to feel better. Sometimes it's the smallest habits, like reaching for a bowl of berries instead of chips, that add up to big changes over time. These little fruits bring more than just color to your plate. They bring resilience to your joints, protection to your cells, and a reminder that nature has given us simple, delicious tools to take care of ourselves. For Harold, berries became more than just food. They became part of his morning routine, a symbol of his decision to take back control of his body one bite at a time. His knees may still creak from time to time, but he's walking farther now, smiling more, and enjoying his garden again, berry bowl in hand. Have you ever tried adding berries to your daily meals? What's your favorite way to enjoy them? Share in the comments. Someone out there might need that exact suggestion to take their first step toward healing. Next, we'll explore an ancient Mediterranean treasure known for its golden hue and powerful healing properties: olive oil. If you're still cooking with vegetable oil or butter, this may be the change your joints have been waiting for. Number 4, Olive oil, liquid gold for aging joints. When Patricia moved to a smaller home at age 75, she decided to simplify more than just her living space. She also took a fresh look at her kitchen. Years of using vegetable oil, margarine, and butter had taken a toll on her health, and her joints reminded her of it every morning. Her fingers were swollen, her hips ached, and she found herself reaching for pain relievers more often than she liked. One day, her niece brought over a bottle of extra virgin olive oil from a trip to Italy and suggested, "Try cooking with this instead. It's what the Mediterranean diet is all about." Patricia began using olive oil in her salads, sautéing her vegetables, and even drizzling it over toast in the morning. To her surprise, within a few weeks, the nagging joint pain began to ease. She wasn't cured overnight, but her body started feeling more fluid, more forgiving, and the kitchen started to feel like a place of healing again. Olive oil, especially extra virgin olive oil, has long been celebrated for its health benefits, and one of its most powerful roles is in fighting inflammation. What makes olive oil so special is a natural compound called oleocanthal, which has been shown to work similarly to over-the-counter anti-inflammatory medications like ibuprofen. This compound helps block the production of certain inflammatory enzymes, reducing swelling and discomfort in the joints. For older adults dealing with arthritis or stiffness, adding olive oil to meals may offer gentle, consistent relief without the side effects of traditional pain medications. Beyond oleocanthal, olive oil is also rich in monounsaturated fats and antioxidants, which together help protect the body from oxidative stress, the kind of stress that can damage cells, wear down cartilage, and accelerate aging. Studies have shown that people who follow a Mediterranean-style diet, which includes generous amounts of olive oil, tend to have lower levels of inflammation, reduced joint pain, and better overall mobility as they age. The connection is so strong that researchers often describe olive oil not just as a food, but as a functional medicine. One of the best parts about olive oil is how easy and versatile it is to use. Unlike some health trends that require complicated recipes or expensive ingredients, olive oil can be added to meals you already enjoy. It can replace butter on toast, dress up a simple salad, enhance the flavor of steamed vegetables, or serve as the base for homemade marinades. Its rich, smooth taste adds depth to dishes without overpowering them. And every spoonful offers benefits far beyond flavor. If you're trying olive oil for joint health, it's important to choose extra virgin olive oil, which is the least processed and contains the highest levels of antioxidants and beneficial compounds. Store it in a cool, dark place and try not to heat it at very high temperatures for long periods, as this can reduce its nutritional value. Drizzling it raw over finished dishes is a great way to preserve its anti-inflammatory power. Of course, olive oil isn't a magic cure, but it is a powerful ally. When paired with a healthy diet rich in vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and lean proteins, olive oil becomes part of a lifestyle that supports your joints, your heart, and your brain. For seniors who want to reduce their reliance on pain medications and improve their quality of life through natural choices, olive oil is one of the simplest, most delicious steps to take. Patricia didn't expect a bottle of oil to change the way she moved, cooked, and felt. But it did. She now makes her own salad dressings, dips bread in seasoned oil, and even bakes with it. Her joints may still remind her of her age now and then, but the pain is less sharp and her movement more fluid. For her, olive oil wasn't just a cooking ingredient. It was a quiet gift of relief, hidden in plain sight. Have you made the switch to olive oil in your kitchen? If so, how has it affected your body, your meals, or your energy? Your story might inspire someone else to try a small change that leads to big relief. Next, we'll explore a food that often flies under the radar, but holds incredible power, especially for those looking to reduce inflammation naturally. Let's talk about soy and why it could become your joint's new best friend. Number 5, soy, a plant-based powerhouse for joint health. George, a 70-year-old retired firefighter, wasn't the type of man you'd expect to eat tofu. For most of his life, he loved his steak dinners, his ham and eggs breakfasts, and hardly ever gave plant-based foods a second thought. But after his doctor warned him about rising inflammation levels and early signs of osteoarthritis in his hips, George decided it was time to make a change. At first, he was skeptical when his daughter suggested trying soy milk in his morning cereal and grilling tofu with veggies a few nights a week. "I'm no rabbit," he joked, but slowly he started to feel the difference. The stiffness in his hips eased up, especially in the mornings. His afternoon walks became more comfortable, and the nagging ache that had followed him for months began to fade. Soy, it turned out, wasn't just for vegetarians. It became part of his healing. Soy-based food, like tofu, tempeh, soy milk, and edamame, offer a surprising benefit for older adults dealing with joint pain and inflammation. Soy contains compounds called isoflavones, which are plant-based phytoestrogens that mimic the effects of estrogen in the body. While that might sound complicated, the bottom line is this. Isoflavones have powerful anti-inflammatory properties, and studies have shown they may help reduce joint pain, particularly in postmenopausal women who often experience a drop in estrogen that affects joint and bone health. But soy's benefits go beyond hormones. It's also a high-quality plant protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to repair tissues, including cartilage. As we age, we naturally lose muscle mass and may also experience more joint wear and tear, especially if we've led active lives. Protein becomes crucial, not just for maintaining strength, but also for supporting the structure and function of joints. Soy offers a low-fat, cholesterol-free way to get this protein, making it an excellent alternative to red meat, which can contribute to inflammation when eaten in excess. Research has shown that people who include soy in their diets tend to have lower levels of inflammatory markers in their blood. And some studies have linked soy intake to reduced pain and stiffness in people with osteoarthritis or rheumatoid arthritis. While the effects may not be immediate, they build over time. Soy works quietly in the background, reducing internal inflammation and supporting the tissues that keep you moving. One of the best things about soy is how versatile it is. You can start your day with a smoothie made with soy milk and frozen berries, enjoy a stir-fry with tofu and vegetables for lunch, or try roasted edamame as a crunchy afternoon snack. You don't have to give up all your favorite foods. Just make room for soy as part of a balanced, joint-friendly diet. If you've never cooked with tofu before, try marinating it or baking it with your favorite seasonings. It absorbs flavor beautifully and can be transformed into both savory and sweet dishes. Of course, as with any new food, it's important to pay attention to how your body responds. Most people tolerate soy very well, but if you have a soy allergy or specific medical concerns, talk to your doctor before making big changes. That said, for most older adults, soy is a safe, affordable, and powerful addition to the anti-inflammatory toolbox. George still enjoys a good steak now and then, but tofu has become a regular guest at his dinner table. He jokes that it doesn't bite back like his hips used to. For him, soy wasn't just a food. It was a bridge to a better quality of life, one bite at a time. Have you ever tried soy products before? How did they make you feel? Sometimes the smallest changes in our diet can create the biggest impact, and your story might encourage someone else to take that first step. Next, we'll take a look at how all 5 of these powerful foods work together in your body, creating a healing environment that protects your joints and helps you move through life with more ease and confidence. Number 6, how these foods work together in your body. Ellen, 74, had always believed that aging meant slowing down. Her knees creaked, her hands ached, and even simple chores left her tired and sore. She figured it was just part of getting older. But after watching a health program that talked about inflammation and diet, something clicked. She didn't overhaul her kitchen overnight, but she started making small, thoughtful changes. She switched from butter to olive oil, added berries to her breakfast, made turmeric tea before bed, enjoyed grilled salmon twice a week, and even tried tofu for the first time in her life. Slowly, week by week, something changed. Her joints felt less swollen. She could open jars without pain. She walked longer without having to rest. For the first time in years, she felt hopeful, not because of one miracle food, but because of how they all work together. Each of the 5 foods we've talked about, fatty fish, turmeric, berries, olive oil, and soy, brings its own unique anti-inflammatory properties. But when combined as part of a regular diet, they create something greater than the sum of their parts. Together, they help form an internal environment that not only fights inflammation, but actively supports tissue repair, improves blood flow, and protects your joints from further damage. This synergy is what makes dietary choices so powerful. It's not just about one superfood, it's about consistency, balance, and how these foods interact inside your body. Fatty fish brings in omega-3 fatty acids, which calm inflammation, deepen the joints, and help lubricate them for smoother movement. Turmeric's curcumin works at the cellular level, blocking the production of inflammatory chemicals that cause stiffness and swelling. Berries provide antioxidants that neutralize harmful free radicals, slowing the wear and tear on joint tissues. Olive oil not only reduces pain and inflammation through its oleocanthal compound, but also supports cardiovascular health, which helps blood flow to the joints. And soy offers both protein to help rebuild cartilage and isoflavones to regulate inflammatory responses, especially helpful for postmenopausal women. Think of these foods like members of a team. One plays defense, reducing inflammation, another strengthens your structure, another improves recovery, another supports your circulation. When they work together regularly in your meals, they create a steady rhythm of healing and protection. You may not notice dramatic results overnight, but your body will, quietly and steadily, begin to feel better supported, and the benefits go beyond joint health. These same foods support your brain, your heart, your immune system, and even your mood. That's the beauty of nourishing your body from the inside out. You're not just easing the symptoms, you're addressing the root cause. You're building resilience, not just surviving the aging process, but thriving in it. If you're wondering how to get started, don't worry about being perfect. Just begin with one change. Maybe it's adding a spoonful of turmeric to your soup or replacing your usual cooking oil with extra virgin olive oil. Maybe you swap your sugary snack for a handful of blueberries or try salmon instead of beef once a week. These are simple acts, but over time, they speak volumes to your joints and to your overall vitality. Ellen now calls her meals her medicine. She still enjoys her treats, but she knows the foundation of her health is built in the kitchen. And she's not just moving more freely, she's living with more confidence, energy, and independence. Have you tried combining any of these foods in your own meals? What did you notice over time? The conversation doesn't end here. The more we share, the more we help each other. In the next section, we'll explore how you can easily add these healing foods to your daily routine, even if you don't enjoy cooking or feel like you're too set in your ways. Change is possible, and it starts with one delicious step at a time. Number 7, easy ways to add these to your meals. Everyday James, a 76-year-old widower, had never done much cooking. For most of his life, his late wife prepared the meals, and after she passed, he got into the habit of heating frozen dinners or eating toast and canned soup. It was easy, familiar, and didn't take much thought. But after a visit to his doctor revealed rising cholesterol and signs of early arthritis, James realized something had to change. The idea of learning to cook at his age seemed overwhelming, but with the help of a few simple recipes from his neighbor and a little curiosity, James discovered that adding healthy anti-inflammatory foods to his meals wasn't hard at all. In fact, it quickly became something he looked forward to each day. If the idea of changing your diet sounds intimidating, you're not alone. But adding these joint-supporting foods doesn't require becoming a chef or buying expensive groceries. It starts with small, simple choices, swaps and additions that blend into your routine without disrupting your comfort. You don't need to make 5 changes at once. Just start with one and build from there. Breakfast is a great place to begin. Try swapping regular milk for unsweetened soy milk in your morning coffee or cereal. Blend a handful of frozen berries into a smoothie, or simply stir them into a bowl of oatmeal. Add a drizzle of olive oil to a slice of whole grain toast with a sprinkle of turmeric and black pepper. A delicious, savory start to the day. Lunch can be just as simple. Instead of processed meats, try a salad with grilled salmon or canned tuna packed in olive oil. Top it with sliced avocado, a few edamame beans, and a homemade dressing of olive oil, lemon juice, and a pinch of turmeric. If cooking feels like too much, even a cup of warm soup sprinkled with ground turmeric or a tofu wrap with crunchy veggies can be a gentle introduction to anti-inflammatory eating. Dinner is where you can really get creative, or keep it as basic as you like. Baked or grilled fish with a side of roasted vegetables tossed in olive oil is a satisfying joint-friendly meal. Try tofu stir-fried with garlic and ginger, or add a spoonful of turmeric to a lentil or chickpea stew. You don't have to follow strict recipes. Just keep those 5 ingredients in mind and find ways to include them in the meals you already enjoy. Snacks and drinks offer more opportunities to nourish your joints. Sip on warm turmeric tea or golden milk in the afternoon. Snack on berries or roasted soy nuts instead of chips or cookies. Even just keeping a bottle of extra virgin olive oil nearby for dipping bread or finishing dishes can make a difference over time. One thing many people find helpful is planning ahead. Having a few go-to ingredients on hand, like a bag of frozen berries, a carton of soy milk, a jar of turmeric, a bottle of olive oil, and a few servings of canned salmon, makes it easy to create healthy meals without much effort. It's not about being perfect. It's about making healthy choices feel accessible and enjoyable. James eventually created a weekly routine that included a smoothie in the morning, a fish dish twice a week, and a simple tofu stir-fry on Sundays. He didn't cook to impress anyone. He cooked to feel better. Over time, the results spoke for themselves. He moved more easily, had fewer aches, and even regained some of the independence and joy he thought he had lost. So don't worry if you're not a confident cook or if your diet has looked the same for years. Change doesn't have to be dramatic to be meaningful. One small step, one new ingredient, one better choice. That's all it takes to start giving your joints the care they need. Next, we'll take a look at common mistakes that can cancel out these benefits. Things that might seem harmless, but could be getting in the way of your healing. Let's make sure the good work you're doing in the kitchen doesn't go to waste. Number 8, common mistakes that block anti-inflammatory benefits. Dorothy, a 71-year-old grandmother of 5, was proud of how she had started eating healthier. She had swapped out red meat for salmon, added berries to her breakfast, and even began stirring turmeric into her evening tea. But after several months, she was discouraged. Her knees still hurt, her fingers still stiffened in the morning, and she was starting to wonder if all these so-called anti-inflammatory foods were just a myth. It wasn't until she had a heart-to-heart with her dietitian that the truth came to light. While Dorothy had made many smart changes, a few small habits were quietly working against her and canceling out the progress she was trying so hard to make. This is something many people don't realize. You can eat all the right foods: fatty fish, turmeric, berries, olive oil, and soy. But if they're paired with the wrong habits or hidden ingredients, their healing power can be weakened or even lost. One of the most common mistakes is cooking these healthy foods at high heat. For example, sautéing olive oil at high temperatures or deep frying fish can break down their beneficial compounds and create harmful ones instead. When oils are overheated, they lose their antioxidants and can even produce inflammation-promoting substances. The solution? Use gentle cooking methods like baking, steaming, or lightly sautéing on low to medium heat. Another common trap is adding sugar or processed ingredients alongside healthy ones. You might make a smoothie with berries and soy milk, but if you're using a sweetened soy milk or adding flavored yogurt high in sugar, that extra sweetness can spike inflammation and undo the good. Even turmeric tea, if sweetened with too much honey or store-bought flavorings, can lose its anti-inflammatory edge. Reading labels becomes especially important here. Choose unsweetened plant-based milks, plain yogurts, and avoid adding extra sugar wherever possible. Let the natural flavors shine through. Your joints will thank you. Portion size is another hidden factor. Some people assume that if something is healthy, more must be better. But eating a large amount of even healthy fats, like olive oil, can add up quickly, especially if combined with other rich foods. Moderation allows your body to absorb nutrients more effectively and prevents excess calories that can lead to weight gain, something that puts extra pressure on your joints. One mistake that's often overlooked is inconsistency. Eating salmon once a month or using turmeric once a week isn't enough to create a real anti-inflammatory effect. These foods work best when they're part of a daily or near-daily routine. It's the steady presence of these nutrients in your system that helps lower inflammation over time. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Doing it once a week isn't going to protect you the way twice a day does. The same principle applies to healing foods. Lastly, many people unknowingly undo their efforts by continuing to eat high-inflammatory foods alongside the good ones. Processed meats, fried foods, sugary snacks, refined carbs like white bread and pasta. These foods increase inflammation and can directly compete with the anti-inflammatory benefits of your healthier choices. If your breakfast includes berries but your lunch includes soda and chips, your body is caught in a tug-of-war between healing and harm. Dorothy didn't need to start over. She simply needed to refine what she was already doing. She learned to cook fish gently, chose unsweetened soy milk, reduced her sugar intake, and made her healthy habits more consistent. Within a few weeks, the change was noticeable. Her joints were less swollen in the morning, her energy improved, and best of all, she felt in control again. The journey to joint relief isn't just about what you eat, but how you prepare it, what you eat with it, and how often you do it. Small mistakes are common, but once corrected, they can unlock the full healing potential of the foods you're working so hard to include. Have you ever thought you were doing everything right, only to discover a small habit was working against you? What did you change and how did it help? Your experience might be just what someone else needs to hear. In our final section, we'll bring everything together with a message of encouragement, reflection, and a reminder that no matter your age, your body is always ready to heal when you give it the right support. Conclusion. As we've seen today, the path to healthier joints doesn't have to start with pills or surgeries. It can begin right on your plate. Foods like fatty fish, turmeric, berries, olive oil, and soy may seem simple, but together, they hold the power to reduce inflammation, ease pain, and restore movement. The key is consistency, balance, and a willingness to make small, lasting changes. No matter your age or how long you've lived with joint pain, your body still wants to heal. And when you feed it the right foods, you give it the chance to do just that. Don't underestimate the impact of one small change, because one step, one meal, one better choice at a time can help you reclaim the comfort, independence, and joy you deserve. What food will you start with today? Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.